Paging Michael and Colleen. Paging Michael and Colleen.
You're listening to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up. I'm Michael.
And I'm Colleen.
And for your weekly dose of chaos and drama, you are tuning into the right spot. We are filming this now for approximately the 5th time this evening.
We started at 6. It's now 8.
So technical difficulties. I am technologically illiterate. Colleen is a saint when it comes to editing the podcast. Everything is done by Colleen. Don't even try to say it's not.
Clearly not. I don't know how to pick a memory card out.
We've had memory card issues. So we just had to go find a place in New York City near Times Square to buy a memory card because we had a faulty memory card. We
don't go to Times Square. No one goes to Times Square.
But it was the only place that was open. So we found your classic New York City bodega. Envision that in your brain. They sell electronic vapes. They sell camera equipment, and they sell dildos.
And George Washington bobbleheads.
Yes. So we say, hey, do you have any memory cards for this camera? We had the camera with us. He's like, oh yeah, I've got something for you. He pulls out a memory card. I look at the back, and it's $9999999 on the price tag. So I said, what is this, $100? You've got to be fucking kidding me. He's like, oh, for you, special deal. Classic New York. $80. And I said, oh, fuck you. No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So we get him down to $70, and we're like, and Colleen's like, we have no other option.
I did not. I'm not good at that. I would have given him 120, walked out.
Because it was a solution to our problem.
I just needed it to end.
Right as we were leaving the store, thank God I had this come into my head. I said, wait. I said, open it and make sure it works. We get that bitch in the camera. It doesn't fucking work. It's a locked memory card with no anti-lock switch, so we can't record.
So here is the information of the day that you did not think you needed to know, but you do need to know. Memory cards lock. There's
a little lever on the side
that needs to be unlocked. We didn't have one, so he was trying to scam us, and luckily, you are the best for catching that.
Listen, I've been scammed by a few bodegas before, not buying dildos or electronic cigarettes, but
what did you buy?
Buying other things.
Okay.
Yeah, just
we'll
bodega
talk about it
things.
later.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll talk about it
All
later. But we avoided getting scammed. Thank God. Anyway, hi everyone. Again, welcome back to episode 3.
Oh my God.
I can't believe we're finally here.
Yeah.
Episode 3. I feel like we are slowly but surely working out those kinks.
I mean, I have come to the West Side twice this week, which is kind of crazy.
I know. And for those of you who don't know, Colleen lives on the east side of New York. Don't love the east side. I'm a true West Sider, but we do film at my house.
I love the east side, although I do work on the West Side.
You do work on the West Side, and there have been multiple times you've been like, hey, can I come crash at your place? And I'm like, mi casa, tu casa. Truly, the door's always unlocked. Yeah.
They always let me in.
How was your night? I know that you came over late because you worked last night.
I actually had 2 really good nights.
Okay.
I cannot complain. I am exhausted.
But looking fabulous.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We just literally ran.
And it's also...
And I was in a sweatshirt. It's 80 degrees. I was sweating.
Yeah, it's it felt like a New York City summer day today, which is not pleasant.
But I do want to share some information.
Okay.
So last night, I just remembered. Okay. Last night I had a patient so most of my patients don't speak. Obviously, they're intubated, sedated. But last night I had one who had abdominal surgery, so she was awake, she was okay. And she was just really fussy that she was still in the hospital. She wanted to leave. She felt really good. She had a really good experience, really good surgery.
Great.
And she was just getting really frustrated. So the surgeon came in and he said, and it blew my mind, he said to the woman, nothing good happens fast in the ICU. Think about it.
Wait.
And
this is mind-blowing.
Yeah, no,
truly.
It actually, when he said it, I had to what did he just say? I took a moment and I was like, that is the most true and impressive thing. I thought Albert Einstein came down and spoke to me.
I feel like if somebody had told me that while I was bedside, I would have used it all the time because people are always in a rush. And when you think about it, everything that happens quickly in a hospital setting, especially the ICU, it's an emergency situation.
When you don't see your nurse that's usually like for the better. Hoping they're like a good nurse and not just lazy. But
absolutely.
when you don't have all the doctors and the nurses and stuff in the room, like you are in a good place. It is a scarier thing when you have everybody
when you
around.
have all eyes on deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
I was like, holy
moly. Crow.
Holy crow. But I wanted to share it with my, healthcare people. Because I've gone 6 years without using that, and I wish I did. Like, for simple things like Tylenol or just, like, wanting to leave a day earlier. Like, nothing good happens fast in the hospital. So, like, take your time, heal, and it'll be okay. Like, you're in the right direction.
No, 100%. When I worked bedside, nurses will understand this, the whole nurse brain topic, especially when so my background was in critical care, but when I was working other units, it can be very overwhelming when you go from having a 1-to-1 or 2 patients to 1 nurse, and all of a sudden you're given 4 to 5. You're like, holy shit, this is wild. So I remember, I don't know why I just thought of this. I remember this one time I got floated and I was working, I think on tele unit maybe, but I had been in the ICU forever. And I was used to most of my patients being on a tube feed. A lot of patients in the ICU, for those of you who don't know, are on some sort of artificial nutrition, whether that be an NG, OG, or G tube, some sort of...
Or nothing.
Or nothing. Or like intravenous nutrition. They're physically not chewing food and swallowing it themselves.
Like, there is very rarely food on the unit. Like,
exactly,
when people do ask for something, I typically have to leave to go find something else for them because they don't bring anything. Like, there's
most patients are not eating. Anyway, so I got floated to this unit that wasn't an ICU, and I had finished all of it was towards the end of the day, and I had finished passing most of my meds. I remember I had to give 1 more med, but on my way to pick up the medication, I had a family member standing in the hallway with a tray of food. Now, trays of food in the hospital come covered, and they were like, hey, can you heat this up for my mother? So I took the food, of course, to the nutrition room, took the cover off the plate, and I popped it in the microwave, and I went to go pull meds out of the Pyxis and draw them up. 2.5 minutes or whatever on the microwave. All of a sudden, I come out, my shift's almost over, and I'm like, what is that electrical fire smell that I smell? Yeah, were you here for this? This might have been before your time.
That is my biggest fear.
Yeah, so I walk back into the nutrition room, and I have a out-of-body experience as I see smoke billowing out of the industrial microwave in the nutrition room.
Okay.
Not only am I shitting my pants because I might set the hospital on fire, number 1, but number 2, I was told at huddle that morning that the Joint Commission was coming. For those of you who don't understand or know what the Joint Commission is, this is how would you describe the Joint Commission? They essentially set hospital standards and can close a hospital down if you're doing things incorrectly and not by the book.
They're your boss as the FBI.
Yes.
Like, they are the FBI and your boss put in one.
Yes. And
they are
nurses scatter when they come.
Oh my gosh. That is partially the reason I haven't been to day shift, because they terrify me.
No, they're terrifying.
They question you.
100%. And they can chart audit you and pull you off the floor.
I can't think about that. I'm gonna...
Okay, because you're counting down to day shift, baby. Whoop, whoop. Going back to the story, I open the microwave because I'm like, shit, I have to assess the situation. I'm being a nurse. And there's 6-inch flames bellowing out. So I quickly slam it shut. All I can think about is, oh my God, this is my last day working at this hospital, clearly.
So you didn't run?
No, I didn't run.
You did not run. I would have ran for the hills and pretend it wasn't me. I didn't do that.
I don't know where the cameras are in the hospital. And I was like, I'm when I lie, I'm such a guilt-ridden face. I'm not a good liar. And I would have come clean because I genuinely have such a big guilt complex.
Oh, you're good.
I think... Do you have a guilt complex?
I think. Yeah.
I think it's situational for you.
Yeah.
More...
It depends on... No.
Okay, topic for another time.
I lie. I lie a lot.
Okay.
On mistake, and I say it.
Okay.
I think
sometimes you have diarrhea mouth.
No, sometimes I say things just to I actually catch myself all the time lying to my patients just to connect with them.
I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, though.
No, but it is.
Because when somebody's at their most vulnerable time, and typically... especially working in critical care, people are having the worst day of their lives. So I think doing anything to try and make a personal connection because the hospital is so not personal.
Yeah, just
and it's so sterile.
Silly things like they'll be like, "Oh, what's your background?" I'm like, "I'm Irish." "Oh, where are your grandparents from?" And I'm like, I don't want to correct them and say like, "Oh, my grandparents are not from Ireland." And I'm like, "Cork." Because I'm not going to say like that ruins the conversation.
You're like, I grew up on Guinness. Why do you think I am the way that I am?
I'm like, okay, I have a house in Ireland. Like, my accent just went away. Whatever.
Oh, you like fully commit.
Oh, fully. The other day, the other day, so I have my master's, right? This girl the other day was telling me, like, go back to school, get your master's, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't have the heart to tell her, like, oh, like, I have it. So I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's a good idea. Like silly lies like that I'm just like, it would be so uncomfortable for me to be like, actually, I have it. No.
Well, you also don't want to be that bitch.
Exactly. Like, so she's like giving me good information. She's like, being a good like coworker 100%. And stuff. And so I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like,
I don't think I've ever told you this, but a huge part of me going back to school, I'm going back to school May 26th. Very nervous. I haven't been in school in years. To get my nurse practitioners. And a huge motivator for me was you finishing your program and getting your master's, truly.
Me?
Yeah, because I was like, if Colleen, I know your life and I know what you do in your off time. And I've always used the excuse of I'm too tired. I don't have enough free time. And I said, fuck it. If Colleen can do it, I can do it. And I signed up, got accepted, and I'm starting on May 26th, which I'm
so
like very nervous.
Don't be nervous. Here's the thing. My mom always drilled it in my head. You can never be too educated. You can never waste your money on education. You can never be too educated. So always, 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 if you have the opportunity and it's something that you even think of, always go back to school and you'll make the time. Like, when I don't have things to do,
that's when you get scary.
That's when oh my God.
Or that's when I get like very random TikToks of Colleen like doing the most obscene and crazy things. Or she gets on AI and makes videos of me from a Speedo picture on my Instagram feed of me dancing to like my humps.
Anything. I get bored.
Truly anything.
So honestly, I'll probably go get my doctorate or some shit just to keep me from that.
I think you should.
This is why we have this podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Total side note. Wow. I think I was just like sort of pseudo looking at your feet.
You're looking at my feet.
Yeah.
No!
So
I can't feel them right now.
The way Colleen and I have a banter to where it's really hard for us to hurt each other's feelings. And there was one time we were talking about bunions. And Colleen has always been like, I have bunions, and I've always kind of made fun of her because I'm like, there's no way that a 29-year-old beautiful woman has these horrible bunions. Colleen's a bit dramatic, so am I get it. So I'm like chopping it up to, okay, she's just being fucking drama. Colleen pulls her socks off one day at my house, and this took you quite some time to show me your feet. And all of a sudden, I fucking gasped.
Yes.
Babe, I've actually felt bad because it was out of like tender love and care while I was poking fun at you. But your bunions are severe.
Out of this world.
Can you explain what a bunion is for people who don't know it?
No.
I mean, but can you explain what it looks like?
It's just like a bone, I think, that grows. And
typically on the foot.
So it's like your toes. I'm not pulling my feet out right now.
Are you sure? People might have to pay extra for that, honestly.
Yeah. We'll start a Patreon or some shit.
It's
a bone.
Okay.
That grows
next to your great toe or your big toe, right?
Not out of your toe though. That's fucking gross.
From like the
joint.
We'll
put a photo, hopefully.
Okay.
Because like now I sound disgusting, but it's a bone that just like grows out of your foot a little bit,
but it can cause your toes to turn in. Correct.
It does. Yes. So because it grows one way, your toes can turn in the other, and it's just like natural. But it also, they don't have like an easy surgery for it.
No,
you have to be physically off of your foot for like 6 months. That's insane. A little dramatic. It's not 6 months.
It's a significant amount of time.
But it's at least 1 month that you can't even put a little bit of weight on it.
Which is just not
and it ruined my childhood. It ruined my life.
I genuinely felt so bad when I saw the bunions I was making fun of.
Yes.
Because, and I shared this with you, so my grandmother had bunion surgery, and it was severe. So my entire life, I thought that bunions only occurred in the elderly. Like my mom has bunions, and she when she buys ballet flats or heels, she's very self-conscious of it. I'm sure you know the pain because I've seen yours now.
And I
things
couldn't
that rub them and hurt them.
Yes.
So my grandmother had bunion surgery, and she was off her foot for a while. But I remember the first time I looked down at her foot, I said, "Oh my God, Dama, where did your toe go? Did they amputate one of your toes?" Because her bunion was so severe that when you look at her big toe and her index finger toe, or her, second toe,
Ew.
there's a massive
You did not.
space
Wait.
between her toes. I know. And she's very self-conscious of it, and it still causes pain less than it did before, but it's a massive gap between her two toes.
Between her big toe and her index finger toe?
Yes.
Her index finger toe.
Her index finger toe. I don't know what to call it.
That was the best way to explain it. I appreciate that.
But I worry about the fact that I inevitably, baby girl, you're getting the surgery because
no,
those
here's
things
the thing.
are...
You can't. I went to the I wanted the surgery.
Wait, educate me, please.
Yeah, I went to my podiatrist.
A foot doctor.
Got my, x-rays. And they basically said, they're just going to grow back. So it's not worth it.
So you're stuck with those for life.
Yeah. They've gotten better. As a child.
I was going to say, how did this impact you as a child? Because Colleen was a dancer, a
cheerleader dancer.
Cheerleader dancer. She did the
no, my sister did point. I couldn't do point, and I cried.
Obviously,
I cried
because you point on the side of your foot, babe.
I break my ankle. No, I would fully break my ankle.
You poor baby. Oh my god.
No, I cried. I think my poor parents.
I actually think this is really good that you're being vulnerable and talking about this because
yeah.
And there is no way that you can be the only one.
No. And okay, I'll tell you where it really impacted my life. One, the doctor said, because I was like, okay, I'll just get the surgery. It'll work for a few years. That's great. Can we do both at once? No.
You can only do one at a time.
Because
wheelchair bound?
No doctor will do surgery on two legs and allow you to be wheelchair bound.
I mean, which
from
makes
what they
total
said,
sense.
I'm like, I have a mom. She can help me. It's fine. They said no.
Dude, brutal.
I know. And wearing heels as a girl. Being young and going to the club.
For sure. This is why you wear your Dr. Scholl's. And
now,
we laugh about it. I think we laughed about it last episode, but it now makes sense to me that you wear your Dr. Scholl's.
People wear toe separators.
Do those
Do you know what that is?
No.
I don't wear them. That's freaky. I don't like it.
What does it do?
I could,
is it a medieval contraption that splits your toes apart?
It looks like it's like a jelly.
Like a hard jelly?
It's a square.
Okay.
You put it between your index finger toe and your big toe. And it just keeps your toe from going that way. So it makes the pain a little less, I guess. I don't do I'm fine.
All I'm thinking about is the women in China who had their feet bound because they thought it was beautiful. So what I'm going to tell you,
your grandma had 4 toes.
She had 5, but I thought she was missing one. They didn't actually remove a toe, but it's when they corrected the big toe, they pulled it so far to the left or the right that it looked like she was missing a space for a toe. To end this story, Chinese women bound their feet for years, and it was seen as a sign of beauty.
What does that mean?
They wore shoes that were so small that their toes would break and curl inward because
so they started bunions.
I don't know if they started bunions, but I am here to tell you that the Chinese women who believe in this must think your bunions are beautiful because your feet are gradually getting smaller the bigger your bunions get. You are beautiful.
I will say my shoe size has gone down.
Has it really?
Yeah. As I get older, my shoe size gets smaller.
Because the toes are just curving in and in and in.
Oh my God, I have 4 toes.
So that reminds me, I worked in Alaska for a period of time during COVID at an extent. Anyway, it's Alaska. It's fucking cold. Not always where I'm from originally, but cold in the winter. And there's a lot of homeless population. And a common thing that they see at the hospitals in Alaska is frostbite. Not something that we necessarily see super commonly here in New York.
I've never seen it.
Number one, frostbite has a very sweet smell to it. Like, it's almost a sweet, like, candy smell to it. I've never smelled
Okay.
dying skin smell like it. It's a very distinct smell. Anyone who has smelled frostbite will smell it. I'm not going to say I
Is
would
it like
eat it.
neuro smell? Like brain smell?
No, it's
No.
something so unique, and I truly cannot articulate what it smells like other than sweet. So, I was doing wound care on a patient who
Okay.
had frostbite to like bilateral or both legs. And in Alaska, there's not as many resources as other places that I've worked.
Okay.
And so the bedside nurse was responsible for doing all wound care. There was a wound care nurse, but it was really on the bedside nurse. So I remember one time I was doing wound care on this guy's toes. One thing about me is I really don't like finger and toe injuries. That is like that's my kryptonite. I don't love touching them. It's very
Really?
personal to me. I don't know why.
Okay.
So I'm like doing betadine on the toes, and I remember I was trying to slide it between the toes, and a toe fell
No.
off. And I immediately go, like literally like a black, shriveled, it looks like a date almost, or a prune. Like a dead toe fell off of my alive patient.
And it was not supposed to.
I panicked. No, I panicked so hard. So I remember I couldn't remember what to do because I had never taken care of a patient like this. And the patient's like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yep, everything's fine."
They were there.
They were there.
Oh.
Scooped up the toe, put it in my pocket. Meanwhile, this is not super painful to the patient because the frostbite is eaten through nerve endings, so they're not feeling pain at this point.
So you have a toe in your pocket.
So I have a toe in my pocket, and I go to the charge nurse, and I am nearly white at this point. Reminder, I hate finger and toe injuries.
And you
I don't
currently
know why.
have a toe in your pocket.
And she goes, "Michael, what's wrong? Can I help you?" And I present her this toe in my hand, and she goes, "Oh, honey, it happens all the time. We don't operate a lot of the times on frostbite because we just let it run its course and let the tissue die until it falls off. It's less invasive. Patient doesn't have to go under." I nearly shat my pants. I will never forget that moment. So that's one big thing I learned in Alaska. Another thing I learned was from one of the CNAs or like the nurses' aides that we had there. Brooke, I will always remember you for this.
God bless you, Brooke.
We had a patient, unfortunately, like alcoholism and cirrhosis is super big in especially the Native Alaskan community.
Okay.
That population I found was only introduced to alcohol like 100 years ago, whereas to people who have an Irish or a European background, we were introduced a lot longer in time ago. So we like physically process it much differently.
And liver patients that was one of the few things I learned going into the ICU. Liver patients are the most dangerous, like on edge. You need to be ready for anything.
They're
because they can very
rapidly decline.
Yeah.
So we were taking care of a super young patient. I want to say he was younger than me at the time, and he was a regular at this facility. And he had come in completely obtunded. His ammonia levels were through the roof. When you're in such severe liver failure, your ammonia levels are so high that they cross the blood-brain barrier and can cause you to be comatose and essentially just like a vegetable, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, so which can end up being
deadly,
dangerous to the point that you can no longer have an airway. So that's like the biggest. There is no like protection of your airway or anything. I actually had one just like a few weeks ago. And it's scary.
It's very scary.
And you need to get those levels down. And some people actually lifelong, because it is so bad.
Yep.
They continuously have to be on like lactulose or something.
Totally. Speaking of lactulose, so this patient, the doctor had written order to give this patient lactulose. They had they had tubes and things that I was like, how am I going to give this patient this oral medication? Like he had just come in, so I was like, he's going to aspirate and choke on this. And there was another nurse who had been a nurse for many years. She goes, "Oh, Michael, I'm going to teach you something."
No.
And it was essentially the equivalent of like a lactulose enema? But into the stomach. So not because we had tried one rectally and it like nothing happened. And they were like, let's try and get some lactulose into his stomach and try and get it moving along. So this nurse, I was still to this day, I'm like beyond impressed with her abilities. She essentially cut open a 500cc bag, emptied lactulose into it, hooked it up, like jerry rigged it, MacGyvered it to his NG tube, cut it with water so it wasn't as thick, and had it as a continuous drip. This patient also had he was very cachectic and like very frail and had previous pressure injuries, so they had immediately put him on a sand bed. So a bed that basically displaces your weight constantly so you don't create bed sores or pressure injuries.
Oh my God.
So this patient is unfortunately a mess. This nurse has helped me out. I was super thankful. And the nurse's aide comes and she goes, Nurse Michael, I need your help and I'm really sorry to ask you about this. And I said, yeah, hon, what's going on? She goes, the lactulose hit. This is something I had not thought of at this point. Okay. But we had given this patient a fuck ton of lactulose. Lactulose is one of the only medications that can actually pull ammonia off the blood-brain barrier, and the way that you excrete it is by shitting, and shitting uncontrollably.
But it's not shit.
No, it's diarrhea. It's liquid.
It is something that you have never seen before.
It's spray all four walls.
Oh my goodness.
So I go in.
You didn't prepare?
No, I went in a gown. She's like, it's pretty bad.
No, I mean, you didn't prepare.
No, I wasn't there because I was so sidetracked by the jerry rigging of the equipment. Right. Long story short, we go in and I look at the aide and I said, I have no idea what to do. This patient's in a sand bed and he's swimming in shit.
This is one of those moments that you stand there and you go,
I don't know why.
Where the fuck do we start?
Yep. It was one of those. And she goes, honey, I got you. And this is a trick that I will always keep with me. Number one, liter hospital cups. We took those bad boys and we were scooping shit out of the bed to try and get like it down a little bit because he was like swimming in inches of feces at that point. Number two, when it's liquidy enough, you can use yankers.
Yes.
Yankers are suction and you hook up suction and you
all the time.
Suck that poop up.
Yup.
And I forever will remember Brooke. She taught me that. And
you know what? I have such a big heart for like however you call them, wherever you work, like nursing assistants, CNAs, PCAs. They
go through hell and back and deal with a lot of shit.
If you listen to them.
Absolutely.
You really listen to them because they know what they're talking about.
And they will be your biggest advocate, but they will also be the biggest person who will work against you and make your life a living hell if you make theirs.
And most of the time, you are wrong if you're 100%. Not listening to them. Like, they have caught so many mistakes when I was like not mistakes, but like things that I could have done better that they'd be like, hey, do you want to maybe do that? And I'm like, oh, shit. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. God bless Brooke.
I know. God bless Brooke. That was my poop story. But I, to this day, always think suction first.
Yeah.
Suction and liter cups.
Wait, this isn't a nurse story. But did I tell you that one time that I sent someone shit?
Like literal poop?
No. I think it was elephant poop.
You're shitting.
You're shitting.
You're shitting me. Oh my God. Stop. No.
Okay.
I need the entire story now.
I'm going to make this.
How do you even come up with this? I need to know.
I was mad. I was mad.
Was it a boy?
No. I don't know who it was.
Okay, wait.
I think her name was Felicia.
Tell me about Felicia. She lived in New Jersey. Okay.
I have a big problem with people who like steal other people's credit cards or spend. Yeah. So this year, actually, on New Year's Day, I woke up and I had like a $40 like
charge
to my credit card from Express, the clothing company.
Do you even shop at Express?
No. Okay. Like I haven't in years. But you know, sometimes you sign up for like the annual cards or something. So I'm like, okay, let me go cancel this. I go look and there's like 4 pairs of jeans that were bought on sale, like super sale.
How can you
clearance.
See this? Was it?
I go into my app, like my Express app.
Oh, so it was through your account as well.
Yes.
Oh.
So I look and someone named Felicia had bought 4 pairs of clearance jeans.
And the clearance, and she was shopping on your dime?
Thank you. and sent them to some place in Jersey.
Okay.
So then I go to my email because I'm like psychotic about my credit cards. And so anytime I spend anything on my credit cards, my debit card, any spending, I get a notification.
Such a great thing to have.
I love it. And I go to my email. Now I have probably 500 emails subscribing to .gov accounts.
What?
So I'm a Reddit girl. Reddit gives me all of my information.
I do not understand Reddit, but I love that
I'm
you
gonna
love
teach
Reddit
you
because
one day.
you help me with basic life things with Reddit.
For like simple things, the company doesn't want you to know or the internet doesn't want you to know. There's one person
who knows
who's gone through it and they know and they have like the little tiny tweak. They get you through it.
And they took the time to put it on Reddit. Thank God.
Exactly. So somebody goes online and they're like, I had this much money like stolen from me. And then I had like .gov subscriptions. What's it called? It's like
email
when
too,
you when you subscribe to a bunch of things. So they were trying to hide the fact that they bought these 4 pairs of jeans.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They go through that much trouble
That
because
much
of 4
trouble.
clearance pairs of jeans to sign you up for .gov things?
So I was
that's wild.
I was so mad because then I had all these emails.
Yeah.
So I call Express. God bless Express. This person is never allowed to have anything sent to their house again. They refunded me. American Express refunded me.
Love American Express. They honestly have like the best customer service.
No, they do. But that wasn't enough. It was the new year and I was like, no one's, excuse my language, fucking with me this year. Like I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I sent Felicia, you like go online and I've heard it before. And I'm like, how do you send? You could send like a potato or you could send like poop.
Oh my.
And I sent her shit.
Wait.
Yep.
That's epic.
I sent $40 on elephant shit to send to her because you know what? You don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's really fucked. Like
you do not. You don't know. $40 means nothing to me.
But you don't know who it could be affecting, right?
Exactly. And you went through all this.
That I'm gonna go through all of this to send you elephant shit. I love that is your like form of retaliation.
Absolutely, and I wish I could have put a video camera on it just to see what happened.
100%. I would die to see.
So Felicia,
if you're watching,
I hope you open that shit. I hope you're. No,
we're gonna stop it there.
We'll stop it there.
Well, before we go too far, bite the tongue.
Too far.
I have never done that, but one time, one of my really good girlfriends from childhood, Sydney. It was, I forget, we were both in college, and one time, I think it was her birthday.
Wait, this is scary.
It's nothing that wild, but I ordered her, like, an exploding glitter packet.
Okay.
Which glitter is, like, the herpes of theater. You can never get it to go away, and it was the fine glitter. I made sure it was the Barry Fine stuff.
That's anthrax.
Truly, it won't kill you, but you will find it for years and years and years and years and years. Yeah. It's, there's so many things out there like that. Somebody was telling me recently that there is this, it's not a 1-800, but it's something people are using as retaliation and like bad breakups. It's called tellyourpartner.org or something like that, where you can essentially have a anonymous website send any phone number you put in, basically saying somebody you've recently had sex with or sexual intercourse with has tested positive for A, B, C, D, E, F, G of things. Yeah. Anywhere from like gonorrhea to chlamydia to HIV.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are using it in retaliation to freak people out, which is kind of fucked up.
Beyond.
At the same time,
and borderline illegal. No?
I don't know about that, but at the same time, I feel like there is a lack of people getting tested regularly. So if anything, I'm hoping that people who are getting these texts
get scared
and go out and get tested. Because I think there's nothing better than knowing your status.
Yeah.
And just like knowing where you're at sexually, right?
Yeah.
I sounded like such a classic gay man of like, know your status. But it is really important, especially like I see a lot of it in my new role. I work in aesthetics, which I think I've told everyone. I do facial aesthetics, but I also work for a well-known gay proctologist, and I read aesthetics there, and I work with a predominantly gay community. And there is a lot of sexually related or sexually transmitted disease or infection that we see and deal with, which is totally fine. And I think that just like knowing your status and like where you're at, if you are engaging in intercourse with not one partner, is super important.
And being in New York, we're very lucky to have this conversation. There's a lot of I mean, it's taboo. Nobody even like thinks twice having this conversation, but in other places it's not. It's like very much hush hush. So maybe like you're right. That what is it? A website? Or something?
I think it's I've never looked at it myself, but
text message.
It's a text message through a website. But I think if anything, like, yeah, it's awful, and I would panic if I ever got that text message.
Oh my God, no.
But at the end of the day, like, maybe find the silver lining in it and be like, at least you're getting tested.
Yeah, whoever started it, God bless. I'm sure it was for good reasoning.
Totally.
Yeah. No, fully agree. Have you ever like prank called someone?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, do you remember I grew up in Alaska, and
I'm sure you did a lot of prank calling. What do you do in Alaska?
Do you remember phone books? Like,
no.
Oh, I'm a year older than you. I remember phone books, like the yellow pages and the white pages.
I mean,
like,
I know what they are.
Up in the phone book.
Yeah.
Okay. I was very young. At the state fair in Alaska, they always had these.
Not the state fair.
I know.
Oh my God.
They had not like it was like a prank shop or magic shop, and they sold all these different things. So my ex-stepbrother, that sounds so crazy and wild, but a stepbrother from my dad's previous marriage, one of them, he had bought this telephone that had pre-recorded things on the telephone. So I remember one time he said, Michael, let's prank call some people out of the yellow pages. And I was like,
not the yellow pages.
Why the fuck not? So we literally like open up a random page and call somebody until they pick up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's like, this is so wild, but there's like people puking, babies crying, gunshots. Like you can choose from a whole different menu of things. And we just called people and hit these buttons, and they were like, it was awful. I still to this day feel awful about these things, and I hope that nobody but this was a telephone that you had to plug into like an actual jack. This is like back in the days of like home
And you didn't
phone.
get caught?
No. After that, I was so scared.
There was no FBI in Alaska.
There is an FBI, but clearly they did not do too much research.
They didn't care.
Me, or didn't care.
They
yeah.
didn't care.
But yeah, that was a prank call that I've done, and after that, I've like never done another prank call because I was so scared from that experience. Because I distinctly remember this one woman being like, "Oh my God, is that baby okay?" And I'm like, I can't believe my stepbrother like brought me into this. I had no idea, and I felt awful about it.
And then you became a nurse.
And then I became a nurse.
And that's the reason you became a nurse.
Yes.
Because you felt so bad.
But I did feel, and to this day, I still feel guilt about it.
Don't. I'm sure it's fine.
It's just like a dumb, like I was like a child.
Yeah.
Have you ever prank called somebody?
Oh yeah, I still do it.
Do you really?
Oh my God, I prank called my mom like 2 months ago. There's a website that you can put in for somebody else to get a phone call from another person.
Okay.
So I put in for my roommate, Christine, my mom to get a phone call from Christine. And so they both get on the phone and it records it. Oh my God, I'm going to show you. So it records it. So it's like Christine answers and she's like, hello. And then my mom answers, she's like, hello. And they're like, hey, is everything okay? And my mom's like, yeah. Why'd you call me? Like, is everything all right? And Christine's like, no, you called me. Oh my God, are we being hacked? You hear my dad in the background?
Just, like, silly.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. That's like way less harmless.
Yeah. I've never done something harmful.
To this day, in my dad's phone, my name is still ADN. ADN stands for Anchorage Daily News. Anchorage is the town I woke up. I grew up in. So I forget what it was, but I was in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade, and there was something that I really wanted to buy, and my dad had told me I couldn't buy it.
Why not?
So, because he didn't want to spend the money. And I wasn't the world's best kid.
I was gonna say, I wasn't. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
And my dad, if you're listening, like it's funny when people ask why my phone number is still ADN, and I tell them the story, and I get a kick out of it. So I had really wanted something. My dad said no. So I went into my dad's. He had an iPhone at the time, or it was like one of the first generations or whatever. And I changed my name to ADN. And I remember calling him from a phone in my friend's garage saying, Hi, is this Mr. Aaronwood speaking? Hi, yeah, this is Jill calling from Anchorage Daily News, and you have been selected for a free year-long subscription of the Anchorage Daily News. All I need is one credit card number to have on file. Don't worry, sir, we won't be charging you. And he gave me the credit card number. He legitimately gave me the credit card number. And to this day, I came clean a long time after, but I forget what it was that I bought and I wish I remembered, but to this day, my name in my dad's phone is still ADN.
I cannot wait to ask him about this next week.
No, please do.
I am so excited.
Which I think you might have just given away.
I am meeting the fam.
I guess we should let them know, but stay tuned for next week. We're bringing you guys with me. Colleen is headed up to
Alaska.
I was going to say that far north.
Been.
You're over the moon. I know my family is over the moon to meet
Oh
you.
my God.
And we get to take our 10 subscribers with us.
What is it going to be? 72 hours, I think I'll be there for. But it's going to be the best 72 hours of my life. You're going to have to drag me home.
I am so excited to let you see where I grew up.
We're going to pod there.
We're going to pod. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Michael.
And I'm Colleen.
And this is Scrubs Off.
Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Okay, guys, we're done.